I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long, you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you were destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room of our subconscious, our spiritual journey, whatever it is. I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you.
Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of the Coach's Corner right here on SIBN Radio. My name is Marcus Salette, a.k.a. The Coach, and thank you for joining us once again. Today, we want to talk about the momentum, the force of your growth cycle. Momentum, the force of your growth cycle. And I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to all of those that are listening to me worldwide, from the European to the Arabian Mountains to the Middle East, as well as the United States, Canada, and down under Australia. Thank you for listening very much on the various platforms where we air. And as we approach the microphone today, we realize and understand and admit that we have personal and professional issues. But we'd like to think that we're bringing to the table the wisdom of the matter from the scars of life from which we have journeyed. And we trust that we can earn the right to speak into your life. And I want to encourage you also to follow us on Twitter at Select USA TV, on Facebook at Select USA TV, and anywhere that Select USA TV or SIBN Television and Radio Network is broadcasting. Join us on our new platform, Spreaker.com. Go to Spreaker.com and simply search Select USA TV for programming, web TV programming there. Let's get right to work. Momentum, the force of your new growth cycle. Well, we thank you for joining us once again, and we make no apologies about keeping our new shows kind of short because we realize you have a lot of things to do, and so do we. And also, we're trying to cut down on our production in some areas and increase it in other areas. And so we appreciate your patience, and we appreciate those that are following us on the various platforms where we air. Today, we want to talk about, very shortly, momentum, the force of growth. I want to encourage you today to understand the power of momentum, for on the wings of momentum, all the resources that you need are provided. And what do we mean by that? You see, momentum to me is the force that takes the project beyond your efforts. Let me repeat that. Momentum is the force that takes the project beyond your efforts. Listen, there's the daily grind, there's the day grind, there's the night grind, there's the weekend grind, there's the grind early in the morning, there's the grind late at night. But after all is said and done, and after all the so-called grind has been done, the bottom line is, what will take you or catapult us into the next growth cycle? It is the power, the force of momentum. And on the wings of momentum, are all the resources you have. This is one of the reasons why you don't ever want to quit your project. You don't want to quit your project. You don't want to quit a relationship prematurely. Why? Because as a project, as a relationship, as something takes momentum, what happens is then you begin to soar. Then your wings can stop flapping. I need some help right there. Then you don't have to land for rest. Then the air carries you. Then the atmosphere, the environment carries you. Take a small break. Be right back. The bottom line to momentum is don't break it. Whatever you do, do not break momentum. And most people can't do that. They find it hard. I'm telling you, building this network from the ground up, from one camera to one computer to one studio, it has been a very, very tedious task. Most people don't even have an idea. They don't have a clue. I've had people laugh at me, scoff at me. Oh, you want a television network? You want a internet television? You want an internet radio station? I mean, but it's here. The framework is here. Yes, we have a long way to go. We have a lot of work to do. But listen, drama for your mama impedes momentum. A lack of integrity, lack of character impedes momentum, because what happens is as you're building momentum, all of a sudden now you got to backtrack for the lies that you told. You got to backtrack because of the folks that you're hanging around. You got to backtrack because you weren't honest with yourself and you didn't realize that you were the common denominator to every situation. Momentum has to be pure, and it has to be unimpeded, and it has to be ready at all times to soar. I mean, it's only so much grinding that we can do. It's only so much that we can do. And listen, I'm going to tell you what momentum will do for you. Momentum will give you new ideas, new concepts, new realities, new growth cycles that you never imagined. I was sitting in my office and I was thinking about what we could do next to bring in some new clients. And I said to myself, there's one client that I really would like to reach out to. So I reached out to this potential client and they said, well, you got to send a letter. You got to do this. You got to do that. So I said, you know what? This is a client that I really think that I want. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to go for it. That's leaving certain aspects of your growth cycle to the power of momentum. I've done a lot of grinding. I've done a lot of speaking. I've done a lot of production. And so now it's time for me to sit back now and do some sales calls. I need some help right there. It's time for me to sit back right now and take it all in. Take it all in and allow my wings now to be carried by the atmosphere that I have created. And it's the same way, if you're a Christian, or the same way if you're married. I mean, whatever you want to apply this to, momentum is essential. Back in the early days of my Christian experience, I remember a lot of people getting saved for the first time, and they really struggled with so many things, and they kept coming down to the altar. And I think what they were trying to do, they were trying to maintain momentum. So you got one thing to build momentum, but then you got to maintain it. And it's hard. Let's just put it on the table like a TI is. It is truly difficult at times to maintain momentum. But here's the key. Here's the key right here. The key to maintaining momentum is integrity. I mean, if you got weaknesses, you admit your weaknesses, and they are what they are, and you have goals, intermediate goals, immediate goals, and far-reaching goals that you want to kind of work on those weaknesses. But some weaknesses just won't never go away. They just they are what they are. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your strengths. As long as you're not burned from your strengths to pay and cover for your weaknesses, you're good. But if you admit your weaknesses, I like to do this, I do this over here, I realize it's not good for me, I realize, you know what I'm saying? Don't try to sugarcoat it and try to act like, you know what I'm saying, you all that in a bag of chips. You got issues. We all got issues. The best of the best can have the worst actions. You see what I'm saying? So once you put that in perspective, momentum then has a chance to be built and maintained. And maintaining momentum simply means that you know how to prioritize, that you know how to put things in their place, that you know how to be flexible enough to make some changes. I did say flexible enough to make some changes. Take a small break. Be right back. Flexible enough to make some changes, because that's the part where we impede momentum because we don't want to change, myself included in that right there. We don't want to change. We don't want to negotiate. We don't want to be fair. We have our defenses up. We want to prove something. You know, when you get a certain age, you're beyond proving stuff. You're beyond begging. You're beyond desperation. This right here is a grind that's honest and open. You know, it is what it is. We need what we need, and we don't make no bones about it. And that's the way you got to grow to be. You can't be begging, desperate, pleading, all this kind of stuff. This impedes momentum because then it gives the control of the growth to someone else. We're not putting the control of what we're doing to somebody else. We're not putting the control of what we are aspiring to do in someone else's hands anymore. Those days are over. Those days are over. Stop putting your growth of your project, of your relationship in the hands of somebody else. Remember, the whole philosophy of the Coach's Corner is this, that we are the common denominator to every situation. If it's to be, it's up to me to be free. And I'm not leaving out the divinity of the situation. But let me tell you something. Putting the control of your project, your relationship, your business in someone else's hand. Well, if they only would support me. No, we can find support beyond them. We can find partners beyond the ones that don't want to partner with us. We can find clients outside our region. Don't even get me started. Take a small break. We'll be right back to wrap this thing up. We don't put the control of what we're doing in somebody else's hands no more. Those days are over. Desperation days are over. Why? Because when desperation is at play, manipulation and domination is at play. And you can't afford to be desperate anymore. Yes, you need money. Yes, you need clients. Yes, you need to work on your relationship. Yes, you need to improve yourself. But listen, that is coming with a gradual grind here. What we're looking for right now is we're looking for something that supports our efforts that is invisible, almost intangible, looks like it's impossible. I need something to come alongside my grind, and when I'm tired, it carries me. You ever heard about footprints in the sand? I was carried. I need some help right there. And so what we're looking for, we're not looking for sob stories. We're not looking for somebody to feel sorry for us. We're not looking for somebody to say, oh, because I feel sorry for you, because, this, that, and the other, I will lend you $100. Listen, baby, keep your $100. Keep your $100. Keep your $50. It's people out there that right now, they are more than able to support the vision that you have, but they won't do it. But if you was in knee deep pile, you know what? They be all in it. Why? Because they have some control. And momentum cannot survive without the common denominator being in full effect. Once somebody else puts their hand in the pie, I promise you, you do not have the same outcome. It's almost like the poverty in America. It's almost like the poverty in, as long as you're poor, there's always a threat of something being cut so that the aid that you're receiving, does not continue. And then once you reach up, and start standing on one leg, two legs, you start approaching middle class. There's more things that impede the growth. You know what I'm saying? But once you have enough money, enough context, enough security, enough confidence, enough faith, enough favor, what happens is momentum takes over. You don't hardly have to do is what you used to do when you was poor, because all of a sudden you've been consistent enough. You've been disciplined. You've been, oh my goodness gracious, I'm about ready to go off up in here. And all of a sudden now the environment that you have created, the integrity to that environment to create something without interference, without impedance, begins now to carry you in places that you never imagined, all because you realize and understand and comprehend the fact that you're not doing this by yourself. Come back and I will close. Well, that's my time, man. Thank you for joining us for the Coach's Corner. Follow me on Twitter if you can. Keep up with me if you can. I double, triple dare you to keep up with me because I'm going. Hey, on Spreecast.com, go over there and check us out, man. We're bringing the web TV stuff back. You go over there and check us out if you can. Follow us if you can. Follow us. Subscribe to us. These things are important. See you next time on the Coach's Corner. This is Coach. That's right. The Media Club of the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network has now opened its membership to the public. If you're looking to join a media club that has credibility and impact in the community online, then you want to join SCGPW. That's right. Visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. When you join free of charge with simply an email and your profile picture. That's right. Join SCGPW today and begin to collaborate and build partners worldwide. Visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. That's www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. Visit SCGPW, the club for all media matters.